What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of La Liga Career Mode. This is episode number 41 and we're starting today's episode off top of the table. Yeah, I didn't mention this towards the back end of the last episode, but top of the table for now. Yep, business end of the season, 13 games to go, and right now Granada are in pole position. But it's so tight, man, it's so tight. That's why I'm not putting too much emphasis on it. It's not like we're like 7 points clear, you know. It is so tight between several teams, and really I would still say, even at this point, the top 5, like, I still believe that any one of us could win it. Yes, maybe you'd say that Real Madrid, who have won it back-to-back in this save, are still the favourites, even though we now leapfrogged them, but it's still really anyone's guess as to who's going to be crowned champion. Still, first game of today's episode on the back of our loss against Atalanta away from home in Bergamo in the last episode. We lost the game, of course, on the night, but still made it through on the tie. We've got AS Roma, first leg in today's episode. So excited for that, man, seriously. But taking on Levante back in La Liga here and back home in Andalusia as well. Started the game off, perfect beginning. Yet another assist for Antonio and yet another goal for Luis Suarez, making it 1-0. The connection these two have, man, I absolutely love it. I really do. I've said before, I would wager that at least half of the assist Antonio has claimed in his career so far have gone to Luis Suarez. It's crazy the connection they have got, man, seriously. But still, we are leading by a goal to nil. Towards the end of the first half, I had a flurry of chances, a couple of great saves, kept it at 1-0, and then right before the break, you know, there are some moments where you just think to yourself, should I go in for that 50-50 duel? You do, and then you just feel like you made the wrong choice instantly. Yeah, Nico Williams goes into the 50-50 duel, goes down, stays down, and unfortunately would be forced off as well. Thankfully, whilst Levante didn't really have any chances during the game at all, the one opportunity they got came right at the end. I was predicting one of those late levelers. Thankfully, a header went wide, and we held on and ground out a 1-0 victory. Look at the stats here, man. Seriously, how I didn't score a second goal in that first half, I don't know. But we do claim the win. We get the 3 points, but it did unfortunately come at a cost. Yeah, Nico Williams broke his toe. He's done for 3 months. That'll put him out for most of the remainder of the season. He'll probably come back for the final 2 or 3 La Liga games, but that's a big blow, man. 7 goals and 5 assists in 24 La Liga games. He averages a direct contribution to a goal in every 2 games. He's been amazing this year. And, you know, he made 4 signings this year. He and Unai Venfador have been our main 2. But I think Nico's been the best of the 4 we signed, man. He's been incredible. So, that win there, as we end February, means this. Granada have now got a 2-point gap on Real Madrid. Yeah, now again, because of how the top 5 is situated right now, we're 8 points clear of Sevilla in 5th. And I'm still sitting there thinking, yes, of course, the title would be amazing, but I'm still making sure I keep an eye on Julian Lopetegu's side in 5th right now, because that was the main aim at the start of the season. Break into the top 4. Listen, if we can be in a title race, fantastic. But it's not the main objective of the save. But March, I think March is going to be the month where we find out for sure whether we can win this title or not. Why is that? Well, we've got Valencia away. We've got the reverse fixture against Real Madrid. We've got Barcelona as well. 3 massive games in La Liga. And we've also got our Europa League last 16 tie against Roma, both away and at home as well. So, yeah, I would say this is the month here where we figure out whether we can be La Liga winners, Europa League winners, both, or neither. I think this is the month where we're going to find out for sure. So, yeah, Valencia, second game of today's episode at the Mestalla. I think every time we've come here, we've put in a good shift. You know, even since the very beginning of the save. I don't know why, but I like coming to the Mestalla. It's a really iconic old ground, isn't it? Heading into this game, felt very confident indeed of getting yet another win notched up in La Liga. Whilst our unbeaten run did go in Europe, it remains in the league. And just 6 minutes into the game, Antonio, 10th for the season for Antonio VR. Man, seriously, there's no doubt about it. His best position is on the wing, but he to me looks like a brilliant false 9. He's not the quickest, but his movement is sensational. And speaking of which, 17 minutes in, he almost scored a goal in the series. Wonderful dribbling, picking the ball up just inside his own half. It really is a shame he's just not the quickest of wingers. You've seen his stats, man. Like, he's not very pacey. He's got brilliant technical abilities. Dribbling is great, as you can see right on cue once again. 5 minutes later, this shot firing over as it's still 1-0. He's just not the quickest, but he's always getting into the right areas, Antonio VR. His off-the-ball movement is sublime, and half an hour in, we were still leading by 1. I thought for sure we get a second goal at some point. Unai plays it back to Komasana. Lovely ball out wide to Sugawara. Japanese fullback comes inside, rolls it across. And after Nico went down, I was a little bit worried. On the other side of the pitch, we know Antonio will get involved on the left, but who's going to step in on the right? Don't forget about this guy, Darwin. Yeah, we haven't really seen that much of Darwin since season 1. Because obviously last season he got the ACL at the start of the season. And that put him out for the majority of season 2. And obviously this season Nico's come in and Darwin's been relegated to the bench. But don't forget, back in season 1, he was one of our top players, man. He scores our second goal in for Nico Williams as gaffer. I know the kid's been great, but don't forget about me. That ACL was tough, but I've recovered. He scores our second goal, makes it 2-0, and then gets the assist for our third. 3 minutes after the restart. Yeah, Valencia had one chance in the first half. Maximiano bailed me out. And then 3 minutes after the restart, I love those swings. Could have gone into the dressing room with our lead cut to 1. Right after the restart, we extended to 3. And in this game, I really felt in control as well. Valencia had one chance, but I was constantly getting players into the right positions in this game. And I love it when that works out as well. I'm sure you guys have played these games of FIFA where, like, you know, your build-ups are nice, but the off-the-ball movement is so static. They're basically stationary, you know, your teammates. Sometimes, though, everything's clicking. You know, your dribbling's great, your maneuvers are fantastic, and you just find players in the right position. I think that's the best way of putting it in this game. Like, my players were always in the right position to feed balls through, like for that moment there, Darwin round the goalkeeper and making it 4-0, and 58 minutes in. I tell you what, man, the improvement in this guy's game in every aspect since season 1 has been incredible. Do you remember the first game of the series? Villarreal away, we lost 3-0, and Maximiano had a bit of a shocker. In fact, one of the 3 goals was a howler. The improvement since then for our number 1, unbelievable. What a save on one end, tipping that header onto the post, and then collecting the loose ball, and then volleying a perfect kick out wide for a counter-attack, where Darwin fed it through and Suarez got his second of the game. What a goal that was, starting with Maximiano, man. This guy, our number 1, you know, we took over again. He wasn't great. He wasn't great, I'll be honest here. But his improvement has been absolutely incredible, man. And you love to see it. So, big win there. One of our best of the save, let alone the season, as we thrashed Valencia. And I said this month of March was going to be a big one. Well, that's the perfect way to start off as we stay top of the table. So, third and final game. This is it. First leg. Europa League even. Last 16. AS Roma in Andalusia. And it's always interesting to see how the AI clubs have been built as the years go by, because we know there's so much change in the game, but they've got a brilliant midfield though, you know. Basuma, who of course is now signed for Spurs, Lorenzo Pellegrini is still there, Sangare has moved on, Calvin Phillips, the ex-Leeds boy, is now under Jose Mourinho at Roma. They've got a great Canadian striker, Jonathan David, one of the best potential strikers in the game. It's a good team, no doubt about it, and I'd say it's very balanced with ours. I'd say their defense might not be the best, but midfield is really good, and up top with Jonathan David leading their line. That's a solid Roma team. Jose Mourinho's built it well. And, you know, speaking of Jose Mourinho too, I think he's really undergone a bit of a redemption arc, hasn't he, in his year with Roma this season? Because obviously in the inaugural Europa Conference League season, they won it. They obviously beat Feyenoord in the final, and that means that Jose Mourinho now has become the first manager to win all 3 of the Premier European competitions. He's won the Champions League, he's won the Europa League, and of course now, in the first season of the competition's foundation, he's won the Europa Conference League as well. So, like, he's brought European success for Roma. Obviously, you would have seen from the celebrations after the win, you know, how much it meant to the fans in Rome. You know, I think he's had a bit of a redemption arc at Roma, because you think about the previous years, for example, especially during his time at Spurs, when obviously, you know, you'll remember right before the Carabao Cup final, Daniel Levy made an unprecedented decision to sack him. Literally right before a cup final, Spurs have not won a major honour in many years, and they decided to sack the manager. It was a really, really interesting decision. Obviously, many people talked about why, hypothetically, that was. There were a lot of rumours that Jose had a clause in his contract where if you won a major honour for Spurs, he'd be given a big bonus. I don't know whether that's true or not, but there were a lot of theories as to why that was the case. Ryan Mason, of course, took charge, and in the end, Spurs lost the final. But I think since then, going to Roma, the year he spent there, I think the investment and also the players he's brought in, particularly Tammy Abraham, what a signing. He was for Roma this season. The goals he scored in the Serie A, absolutely fantastic. And I really feel you've got to give the guy credit, because I have, and I'm honest, I'm happy to admit this, I have been critical of Mourinho in more recent years at times, particularly for his man management, but I think you do have to give him credit for what he's done with Roma in just one season, their first European honour, and obviously, the signings they brought in, Abraham, fantastic, Patricio on a great budget deal from Wolves as well. I think he did a really good job in the first season with Roma, and I think you have to give him credit for that as well. Bit of a redemption arc for Mourinho after the past few years of his being, let's just say, a little bit critical, a little bit criticised from quite a few people, myself included, happy to admit it. But even so, heading into this game, we fell behind. Jonathan David scored in the first 5 minutes, and I just gifted him a goal. And all throughout the game, you would have seen I gifted Roma chances, but once again, it was Maximiano who bailed me out time after time again. It was obviously in the first half, Darwin scored our level, and then Antonio scored our second, which proved to be the game winner. There's no doubt about it. I rode my luck in the game. Don't think I deserved to win it, but we scraped through with a win. But there's no doubt about it. Tie is in the balance. We head back to Rome at the Stadio Olimpico, only leading by 1. This tie is far from over. Unlike in the last round against Atalanta, where the job was basically done heading to Bergamo, not at all this time around. The tie is still very much in the balance. But that'll end today's episode of La Liga Crema, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and do not miss the next episode. Real Madrid, Barcelona, second leg v Roma. It's one of the best of the save. Don't miss it. Have a great day, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of La Liga Crema, one of the biggest of the save. Whatever you do, guys, please don't miss it. Very soon.